less, 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 less. Through symbols. In the façade, a precious carved archivolt follows the profile of a rich, large window, near two small Corinthian columns supported by lions. There are animal-shaped decorations carved in stone, which symbolize faith in Christ. Young bulls, centaurs, and lions alternate on the façade and the long southern side, with artistic languages coming from Como and Apulia. Inside, each detail becomes a symbol. Under the bookstand, there is a quiet and majestic eagle with semi-opened wings, with a book among its claws, partly supported by the head and the right hand of a man who puts his feet on the head of two lions while they're killing a mutton. In a niche near the chapel of the baptismal font, the Virgin with the Child half-bust sculpture is the sublime symbol of universal love. Silent and austere, an alive but discrete presence, the Mother has hosted travellers and pilgrims since the 13th and 14th centuries. The Virgin with Child is also represented on the remains of a 14th century fresco, which echoes the painting of Siena on a pillar at the junction of the naves with the transect. Sitting on her throne, holding her baby, she looks at the spectator, captured by the sweetness and intensity of her eyes. The Virgin, wrapped in a festive drape, wears a mantle that almost melts with it. Immediately adjacent to the fresco, at the feet of the arch, at the column base, there is a carved sleeping baby lion, and at the arch wall, a snake under the column with an almost human head and a prominent tail, speaking the language of Christian symbolism. The pulpit, assembled by Bishop Diodato Gentile in the 17th century, with the pieces of two ancient ambos dating back to the 13th century, is full of meaning. The symbols, carved in a panel of the evangelists Luke and Mark near the Divine Lamb, observe the southern side. Finally, two characters, Prophet Jeremiah on one side and a man wrapped by a snake on the other, support the entrance staircase. Capitals of different types are on different columns and support the pulpit. On the sides of the first there is a satyr, an archer, a man drying himself with a towel, a lion eating a mutton, a bird pecking. On the second there is a bird at the centre nibbling grapes, and the moon is under an antelope. The pulpit is composed of carved coloured panels, and then there is the transect. The mosaic reminds us of lace for its sober and refined elegance. Other pieces of the medieval ambos are kept outside the cathedral, because they could not be placed in the 17th century pulpit. Then we find a panel representing the Annunciation, an arch with parrots, a second arch with a peacock, and carved decorations, probably of the Lombard period. There must have been a common source of inspiration in the hands of sculptors and mosaicists who made the mosaics of the ambus and the presbytery, the plastic decoration of the transect, the carvings of the dome, sacred furnishing, decoration of the southern portal, and the prospect window.